Herr Huber?
Yes?
That is me.
I am here.
I was wondering if you've changed your mind about telling me where Gabriel is. It's really important.
Nope.
No. Sorry.
I love this guy.
Yep.
Thanks.
Bitte?
But you didn't do anything.
Didn't I? Alright, where the hell is Gerda, I wonder?
I'm assuming she's still at the place, but probably hiding. Unless she's at church.
She is not.
Is she at church?
She may be at church.
Okay.
I don't want to disturb her.
I don't see her.
Oh, I'll remember there was
Oh, okay.
Gerda's here. I wonder what she's up to.
Looks like she's in mourning to me.
And do you remember whose grave that was?
Yep, that's Wolfgang's.
Grace, you dumb bitch.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god. Gerda was in love with Wolfgang.
And the penny finally friggin' drops.
Yeah, so you were a bitch for no good reason.
Boy, do I feel stupid or what. I
you
really
know what?
should apologize, but I don't want to interrupt her. Maybe there's something else I can do.
Let's go back to Schloss with her.
Okay.
Maybe there's something we can find that's a piece off.
Gerda's at the church.
Oh!
Did you have a thought?
I did.
I love how there's the ominous music in this tunnel.
Still wish there was a Minotaur.
Again, Grace's chapters are interesting. The problem is she's a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she causes... Don't get me wrong, she helped save the day, but she causes problems getting there.
Mm-hmm. Also, aren't you gonna cut yourself on the thorns?
Every rose has its thorn.
The one
Just
song
look-
I know from Poison.
Same. Just like every night has its dawn. Just like every cowboy sings a sad, sad song. I think Courage is seeing Poison live. Courage, if you're watching this, have you seen Poison live? Let us know in the comments.
Nope, okay, I'm assuming then it's in her bedroom.
Maybe we should give it to her in person.
Yeah, that's probably better. Although the one thing is just they're red roses, that usually is a sign of love. And they definitely don't love each other.
I don't want to disturb her.
I do. God, they really should have cut this stupid soap opera plot out.
They should've.
What the hell are you doing here? Now you're putting flowers on the grave of my dead geriatric boyfriend.
There. That's better, don't you think? I'm so sorry. I was an idiot.
Yes.
Yes.
Gabriel and I, we never...
I know.
Now I know anyway.
It's my fault.
Yes, it is.
Very.
It's Gabriel's fault. He never tells me anything.
No, it isn't.
No, this is definitely
I
on
don't know
you.
why he didn't want me on this case.
Maybe he just...
Don't even try to make excuses for him. Still, he's up to his neck in it, I think. Will you help me out with something?
Of course.
I have to do some research on Ludwig. I want to go see some of his castles.
Take Gabriel's car. There's a map of southern Bavaria in the car. Ludwig's castles are all marked.
That's convenient.
Yeah.
Good luck.
So, Star,
Uh-huh.
did you feel that there wasn't enough Jane Jensening in this Jane Jensen game so far?
Depends on what you mean by Jane Jensening.
You know, the hardcore historical research into lore and things like...
I mean, we have touched a bit, but yeah, it's not as much as we got from, like, the voodoo stuff in the first game.
Well, strap yourself in!
But this chair doesn't have a seatbelt.
You're gonna need one.
Do they even have seatbelts for computer chairs? Your silence is telling.
They might?
Worst comes to worst, I suppose I could get a bungee cord. We got one currently on the garbage can just to make sure raccoons don't get in.
I'm kind of curious if the situation with my sister's raccoons has developed any further. So the first one we want to go to is Neuschwanstein.
Oh. Fancy. Mr. Rogers, what are you doing here?
I don't think the guards want to be bothered while on duty.
That is fair.
Let's listen to the tour tape.
The paintings in this room are from the Siegfried Saga. The paintings in this room are from the Siegfried Saga.
Click on the
These
painting.
scenes are from the Siegfried Saga.
Yes, we heard.
These scenes are from the Siegfried Saga.
Which, later would get reworked into one of Wagner's operas. The Ring...
Why do I hear your mom squealing now?
I've mentioned this game, and this part of this game to her.
The closed door leads to the tower, which is not part of the tour. The king was making his way to this very door when he was arrested in 1886.
I see.
I don't think the guards want to be bothered while on duty.
You are now standing in the king's bedroom. The
They think it'd be
theme
more
of the
lavish.
bedroom is Tristan and Isolde. tragic love story retold in Wagner's opera. The opera was given its first performance in Munich.
Could someone turn down the music? I can't hear the tour.
This is probably the most elaborate and expensive bedroom ever created. It took 14 wood carvers 4.5 years to create this room. It was this kind of extravagance that bankrupted the king. In the years before his death, he found it increasingly difficult to find money from any source.
Bye, tour lady. Okay, it's changing of the guard, I see.
I think there's a puzzle involving that later, but I can't swear to it.
If I sit on this bed, is it gonna grab me?
Maybe Ludwig thought all this luxury would help him sleep. Did they have running water in 1886?
The richly carved bed, with its canopy, resembles a Gothic building and its turrets. The bed's draperies were handmade by dozens of Bavarian seamstresses.
Fancy.
Scenes from the opera Tristan and Isolde.
Tristan and Isolde was kind of Romeo and Juliet before Romeo and Juliet was.
Yeah, I've heard songs related to it.
It's another thing that Wagner worked into an opera.
Scenes from the opera Tristan and Isolde. This is Ludwig's private chapel. The king was a devout Catholic, as were all of the Wittelsbacher rulers. They supported the Roman Church even when other European countries were dominated by Protestantism.
It's a beautiful crucifix, ivory and gold. The Black Madonna of Altadine. I wonder what her story is all about.
The stained glass window depicts St. Louis receiving the last sacraments. The stained glass window.
Oh, I was already in here.
I don't think the guards want to be bothered while on duty.
This is the king's living room. The walls are decorated with scenes from the Lohengrin saga. The king first saw Wagner's opera Lohengrin when he was 16, and it so affected him that he considered it a form of enlightenment. The tragedy of Lohengrin was his essential loneliness. This too was Ludwig's own fate. Ludwig withdrew more and more into his fantasy world of epic heroes and absolute monarchy. An ideal he was determined to create in his castles if he could not have it in his real life. He only wanted to be alone with his dreams, so much so that even his servants were kept at a distance and were not allowed to look at him.
What were you afraid they'd see?
Change of the guard.
These linens look seriously expensive and seriously old.
The miracle of the Grail.
Oh, okay, this was already in. I was already in here. And she came back.
Changing of the guard.
Swan! Oh, first tape.
Yes.
One motif is featured throughout the castle, but it is particularly prominent in this room. Both the swan and the lily were symbols Ludwig associated with himself. They represented his ideals of majesty and purity. The painting behind the swan shows Lohengrin's arrival.
Again, is he related to Bobbin Threadbare.
More swans.
Yeah, the Castle Neuschwanstein actually... Hang on a sec.
Okie doke.
Let me see if I can find the translation for that name.
Okie doke.
It literally means something about, like, Swan Castle or something.
Uh-huh.
It's very much an example of, like, the Romantic era. Of course, they don't actually give us an actual good translation for it. Okay.
Well, we tried.
Yep.
Okay.
This is a reproduction of the grotto from the Tannhäuser saga. In such places, Ludwig could pretend he was one of his beloved mythic heroes. As the grotto personifies, the castles were solitary playgrounds built for Ludwig alone. He believed the masses were too coarse to appreciate fine art, and he seldom entertained guests. In fact, Ludwig had a standing order that upon his death, the castles were to be destroyed. Fortunately, the estate was in such debt that the castles were opened for paying tours only weeks after Ludwig's death. They haven't closed since. It is one of the great ironies of Ludwig's story that the castles that he was thought insane for building are now considered Bavaria's finest treasures. They have paid for their construction many times over.
I'm watching you, Grace. Always watching.
I can almost picture Ludwig in here. I wonder what he really dreamt about in this room.
Swans.
Possibly.
This is the king's study. Ludwig spent much time at his desk, writing letters, drawing up plans for his projects, and studying his favorite authors. He loved poetry, history, and the classics. In later years, he also studied the occult. What affairs of state he did reluctantly attend to were generally attended to alone at his desk in writing. His reluctance to meet with his heads of state and perform the duties of the king were one of the reasons for the charges brought against him in 1886. But Ludwig dreamt of true kingship and a true monarchy, and the small powers left to him after Bavaria succeeded power to Prussia only incited his disdain and frustration.
Bitch, we're watching you. Don't you dare touch any of these paintings.
I wonder why he was studying the occult before he died.
Gee, I wonder.
The study paintings depict scenes from the Tannhäuser saga and the Wartburg castle. The study paintings depict scenes from the Tannhäuser saga and the Wartburg castle.
Also, look away, folks. They're boobs.
It's art. Like these are actual things, images taken from Neuschwanstein Castle.
Oh, I'm sure. But just
Yep.
be warned, there's boobs.
Yep. Here's where all that hardcore Jane Jensen.
The study paintings.
I doubt there's anything left in there now. Besides, the guard would kill me if I touched it.
Touch.
I don't think the guards want to be bothered while on duty.
I don't suppose you're gonna walk out, so I have an excuse to look at this.
I don't think so. Let me check to make sure.
Okay. I doubt there's anything in there, but It's like, I want to steal the fine china.
Yeah, no, I don't think you steal anything from Neuschwanstein.
Aww.
This is the final room of our tour, the Singer's Hall. It was modeled after the Singer's Hall of the Wartburg Castle, where minstrel competitions were held in the 13th century. The hall was built for small private concerts.
Seriously,
Ludwig
could you
himself
turn the
never gave
soundtrack
one
down so
here.
we can hear the narration?
It is said that during the last few years of Wagner's life, he came to Neuschwanstein frequently and performed for the king alone in this room. The hall is probably best known for its enigmatic wolf paintings.
Wolf
The
paintings, you
original
say?
paintings were from the Parsifal saga, but in 1882, Ludwig had them replaced, supplying the description and titles of the new paintings himself.
Uh-huh.
While all the other rooms in the castle show scenes from Wagner's operas, the scenes in this room are not from any opera that anyone can identify. It is yet another of the many mysteries associated with the life of the fairy tale king.
I'm pretty sure that the wolf paintings were made up for this game, but I couldn't swear to it.
I'd assume.
But yes, the reason Wagner was able to create all those operas was because Ludwig was bankrolling him.
Ah.
Engelhard courts Hildegunde.
Bless you.
The hunters track down Engelhard and Hildegunde.
Wolf.
There must be a story behind these wolf paintings. But
Yeah,
what
this one
story?
definitely looks like it was faked.
Yep.
Oop, nope.
Engelhard and the blacksmith.
Do you know why the blacksmith was arrested?
No, please tell me.
Turns out he committed forgery.
You were very proud of that earlier today. But it's interesting that Wagner came to perform at this room specifically, and that it was, like, specially constructed.
Yeah.
Hildegunde's imprisonment.
She don't look that imprisoned, and again, it looks faked with the wolf there.
The death of Engelhard.
Oh, so Engelhart became the wolf, apparently. Or became a wolf.
Yeah. Also, what's this little thing here? With the reddish hair? Looks like a little puppy.
The wedding feast of Hildegunde and the Baron. Ludwig's childhood castle, Hohenschwangau, is visible from the lookout in the Singer's Hall.
Pretty. I think that's everything here.
Alrighty. So there were some odd things there, but nothing terribly enlightening.
Nah, not really.